Well, welcome everybody. Is everybody having a good time at the show? Great, great. I'm Kate Dillon. I'm one of the organizers here for the Hickory Women's Expo alongside my brother. So, he was the one that just walked in there. So it's a great to work alongside my brother, but because I'm the woman in the room, I get to be on stage here. So speaking of on stage, I'm very excited I've just first met Grace this weekend, but I'm very proud to announce that Grace McLaurin, she is from Vitality Anti-Aging Center. She has 23 years of experience as a PA. She is a Magna Cum Laude graduate from UNC-Charlotte, and then she graduated from Bowman Gray in Wake Forest in the School of Medicine. She began her career in general surgery, then worked for 5 years in emergency medicine, and she has extensive experience in internal medicine, women's health, bioidentical hormone replacement, thyroid disorders, and non-surgical aesthetics. She founded the Vitality Anti-Aging Center in 2006 because she felt a more integrative approach to health and wellness was her passion. She has a passion for helping her patients achieve a complete sense of well-being, through both looking good and being well. And I think that's why we're all here. So I'm very proud to announce Grace McLaurin. Please join us on the stage. Let's give her a warm welcome.
Well, I can say good afternoon now, not good morning. So again, thank you for that introduction. I'm Grace McLaurin. I am a physician assistant, as she said. I have a doctorate in medical science as well. So we're going to talk today about your skin care. Your skin is your largest organ. We take care of our other organs, and so many times people forget that their skin is a living organ that we need to take care of. So this is, again, just a little bit about me. I am a national and international speaker for all the large companies that make dermal fillers and neurotoxins. I am a key opinion leader for some of the skincare companies and founded Vitality. I've been voted since 2018 as one of the top 100 injectors in the country by my peers. So when we talk skincare, where do we start? I think it's very confusing for people. You walk into department stores, you walk into the drugstore, you come into a facility like ours or a dermatology office, and it's so many different types of products. And so we're going to try to make this a little bit easier for you to understand, so you can understand what's important for you to be using, what these things do, and what maybe isn't as important, and what they'll do for you. So as we age, by the time we're 20, we quit making collagen, and we start losing collagen at 20. By 40, we lose about 5 cc's or a teaspoon of fat from our face a year. And the one place we do want fat is on our face, not on our body, and it seems to stay on our body and loses from our face. So we talk about 2 different types of aging, and these types of aging, it's kind of important for you to understand what they are. And one's called intrinsic aging. That's our genetics. That's what we're born with. We can, I look and I'm aging like my mother, so I know what I'm going to look like when I'm 70, which isn't too far away. And then we have extrinsic aging, and that's the aging that happens to us by what we do, our diet, sun exposure, all the pollutants, toxins, stress, those things, and things that we can control, also our skincare. So some of this, I'm going to give you a little science about the skin, and I try to make it simple. I could go on forever like this and make it very complicated, but we talk about what's called the extracellular matrix. And the extracellular matrix is a collection of extracellular, when it's extracellular, outside the cell, molecules that are secreted by the cell to help produce the structural support of the skin. Your collagen, your elastin, your hyaluronic acid, the really good things that we need in the skin. So this little slide kind of shows skin and what happens. So healthy collagen should look like a plate of spaghetti. As we age, our collagen looks like that plate of spaghetti that we cut up with a knife, which is apparently a cardinal sin if you're Italian. You don't cut your spaghetti. So we want nice, long spaghetti. And so we have something called a fibroblast in our cell, and when it's young, it's nice and stretched, and it releases all the good things that clear out that broken spaghetti and the things that we don't want in there, and then helps release the good things that we want. Well, as we age, that fibroblast shrinks up. and it doesn't release the good things that we want it to release. So that's why it's really important that we add things that are going to help that fibroblast stay healthy and help keep that extracellular matrix healthy. So kind of as a metaphor, an analogy, I'm a big analogy person. So you want to kind of clear out the weeds, so all the broken stuff. We have products that help prep the skin for treatments that we do in the office. And so you want to get started with that, clear those weeds, then you come see us, we plant the seeds, then you get your skincare and you go home and you fertilize and water that garden and make it grow. So when we look at skincare and things that we do, 20% of what happens in the office. And I always tell my patients, if you're not going to go home and take care of what I do, don't do it, because you really have to do it at home. 80% is up to you and what you do at home. And so that's your skincare, your skin protection, your lifestyle. I tell people if they're smokers, don't pay big money for a laser, because you're going to keep getting all these, free radicals that are going to really tear down your skin. So when we look at skincare products, I like to categorize these as like grass. So when we're planting seeds and stuff, and that's your growth factors, your retinoids, which are retinols and retin-A's, your antioxidants, serums, and your SPF or sunscreen. So we're going to go through and talk about a few of my favorite ones, kind of what each of these things do, why they're important. I always say a good cleanser is good, but a cleanser isn't going to change your face. Moisturizers are good, but some moisturizers, they sit on top of the skin. They're not going to change what's below the skin. They may feel good, but they work like spackling on your face, so almost like a makeup primer. So they're not getting down, and they don't have the ingredients in them that are really going to change your facial structure, the skin structure. Things that you buy in department stores and in drugstores oftentimes have ingredients in them that actually, when the sun hits them, can become toxic to your skin. So you really have to be careful, and that's why I really highly recommend medical grade skincare. Also, the things that you buy in department stores and drugstores, they'll have small amounts, like they'll claim they have retinols in them, or they claim they have, alpha hydroxy acid or something, but there's only a certain amount that they can put in before they become a medical grade, which you have to get sort of more prescriptive. So when we look at growth factors stimulate the production of healthy collagen and elastin. And collagen is really like, if you think of like building a house, that's the framework of your house. And the elastin is kind of like siding. It's the part that creates that nice, firm stretchiness to your skin. So this helps restore healthier skin. It makes your skin appear thicker. As we age, skin thins and it doesn't have as much elastin. So we want to thicken that skin, and it helps improve the appearance of the fine lines, the sun damage, wrinkles, texture, and tone. Growth factors are proteins. They're called polypeptides, and they are most concentrated, like I said, in medical grade skincare. So these are just a couple of pictures, and it comes from one of the companies of a skincare line that we carry called Elastin. I love Elastin because they actually do scientific studies on their skincare. They do punch biopsies, they have special cameras, and they have some of the top doctors in the country that do these studies. So this one is only on a growth factor. The other things in there are just a cleanser and an SPF. And you can see the improvement in the redness, the tone, the texture, and the skin, how it gets the glow with just a growth factor. And this is, we have a camera in our booth if you want to get your skin analyzed. And so this kind of shows them the irregularities. So you see before treatment, all the green and yellow dots are fine lines, textural irregularities, pores, and then you can see after using the product, and this is a 48-year-old woman, as you can see, after using the product, and I think it was 8 weeks, you can see the improvement in her skin and the decrease in fine lines, wrinkles, pore size, all of that. So then we get our R in the grass, which are retinoids, and everybody needs to be using a retinol or a retin-A. It's the only thing that's been actually proven and is FDA approved for decreasing the depth of a wrinkle. And so it decreases wrinkles and fine lines. It keeps the outer layer of our skin, called the stratum corneum, healthy and thinner so that products can go through. You think of the stratum corneum, if we didn't have it, we would die. It's what protects us. It's kind of like the shell on top of of a clam. It protects it. You know, a clam can't live if it doesn't have its shell. So we can't live if we don't have our shell, but we want to keep it healthy and thin. Decreases sun damage and improves the overall texture of the skin because it keeps the skin exfoliated in a chemical way. So next is our A, which are antioxidants. And antioxidants are really, really important in skincare, and we get antioxidants from multiple sources. One, in our skincare products, where we can use them on our skin, and our diet, the vitamins that we take, the nutrients that we get out of our food. We know that like blueberries, people are always talking about, they're very potent antioxidant. Kiwi fruit is very potent antioxidant. And so that's where we want it from multiple places. So we talk about oxidative stress, and oxidative stress not only affects your skin, it affects all your organs. This is why people develop disease. And it's an imbalance between free radicals, which are things that come to us from stress, pollution, smoking, alcohol consumption, chemicals, obesity, and they lead to cell damage. And so not only your skin, but cell damage in your heart, you know, cell damage in your pancreas that leads to type 2 diabetes. So really keeping that oxidative stress low is going to make you healthier and make you look better. And this is an example of oxidative stress that's out in the environment, and it's rust. So if you think about what's happening when we're being bombarded with all of these free radicals, we're rusting. And as we rust, everything becomes thinner and not as healthy and eventually just collapses and falls apart. Can't ride that bike that's all rusted. Remember the old bike chains that would rust and you couldn't, when you were a kid, and you couldn't pedal your bike anymore? And so we can't ride our bike anymore. So vitamin C is one of the most potent antioxidants that's out there on the market, both to consume and to use on your skin topically. And there's a difference in some of the vitamin C's that are out there, and we'll talk about some of those. So this slide talks a little bit about some of the vitamin C's, and there's been a lot of research, and not that you all care about a peer-reviewed journal, but it's one that was done that really shows the difference. So most of the vitamin C's we get are called L-ascorbic acid. And that's what most of the skincare lines carry. And they'll come in bottles. If you use vitamin C, it's usually clear when it starts out. As soon as it starts turning yellow, and you'll see after you've used it a few times, it gets all the way to where it's brown. It's oxidized and it doesn't work anymore. So this study shows that L-ascorbic acid is really good for collagen production, but it degrades elastin. And elastin is something that we want. So you have less elastin using L-ascorbic acid. So the one I like the most is what's called sodium ascorbate, and it not only does it build collagen the same way that L-ascorbic acid does, it also builds elastin. It preserves the precursor called tropoelastin. And it's made by a company called Elastin, and it's called C radical defense. It's also, it's a very potent antioxidant. It has the vitamin C's in it. It's gentle for your skin. Some people are very sensitive to C's, and I'm one of them. I get really red if I use just an L-ascorbic acid. This one doesn't do that, and it contains 15 other antioxidants in it. So it's really a nice serum compound.
What is it? It's not the L-ascorbic. What kind?
Sodium ascorbate. And so this is a slide, and I don't know how well y'all can see it here, but the very first one, the top one, is baseline. And then the next one is using L-ascorbic. And what you want to look at is the red, the thickness of the red. So you can see how that's elastin. It's dyed. And so you can see, and this is through a punch biopsy, the reduction in elastin in the second one. And then the third one is using the sodium ascorbate. And you can see all of them do the same with the collagen, but you can see the increase in your elastin in that one. And elastin is something we lose very rapidly as we get older. And so that's one thing that we really want to preserve is our elastin. So this is an example of sometimes things that we think are really good for our skin may not be doing everything we want. It may be doing some good things, but at the same time could be doing some bad things. So I like to try to keep things in our office that are all doing good things. So the next thing I love are serums, and I think serums are great things to use. I think they're absorbed a lot easier. A lot of creams kind of sit on on the skin where I think serums absorb easier. And serums are usually combinations of peptides, antioxidants, and things that are readily absorbed into the skin, and they tend to focus more on one issue. They may do help a lot of things, but they're really going to be focused. And so like the vitamin C that I talked about, that's going to be focused on your collagen, on your elastin. We have a product called Elastoderm Skin Serum, which is one of my favorite things to use. And the ones I talk about are like my favorite stuff. So we have a lot more, but these are my favorites. And it's tightening and firming of the skin. It really helps thicken that dermis, and so your skin is firmer. We have one called Illuminate, which is going to target pigment and dark spots. And there have been tests, they've done head-to-head studies with a prescription called hydroquinone, which you've probably heard of, that a lot of products use for darkness, but there's some controversy in some countries. Hydroquinone isn't even legal. And this outperforms, it takes longer, but it outperforms hydroquinone by 27%. And then we have one called HA Immerse, which I would like to be able to just like immerse my whole body in. And it targets your own natural hydration. It's not a moisturizer that you put on that feels like that spackle. It actually stimulates your body's own natural production of moisture. So I'm going to show you this, one of my favorite products that we have, and this will just give you an example of what it does. It is a hyaluronic acid, and so hyaluronic acid is what makes up the injectables, a lot of the injectables that we use. So like your Juvederms and your Restylans, all that, that's hyaluronic acid, and it's something that we naturally have in our body, and it has an affinity for water. So it absorbs water in, so it creates that hydration, that plumpness to the skin. And we lose a lot of our own native hyaluronic acid as we age. So this product is all high molecular weight hyaluronic acid. So you have different weights of hyaluronic acid. Low molecular weight hyaluronic acid will inflame the skin. So you really want to look for only high molecular weight, and a lot of the hyaluronic acid preparations that are out on the market, even some of the medical grade ones, are a mixture of high and low molecular weight, and I don't know why anybody would ever put low molecular weight hyaluronic acid, but this one is all long chain high molecular weight hyaluronic acid, so it really resembles more of what we have in our body that's good for us, and it's going to increase your natural hydration. So this is a study that was done by the company that makes it, and this slide to me is so compelling. So when you look at the right side of the face, and this started at baseline, it is 15 minutes after cleansing, and you know sometimes we cleanse and our skin feels so dry and tight. Then they added the HA Immerse, and they took a picture 15 minutes after adding it. And so then they go on and they look at it at baseline. Then at 2 weeks, you can see at baseline you already have a little bit more natural moisture because you're seeing that blue. The blue is the moisture. Then they add the HA Immerse, so that's cleanse, 15 minutes post, and then 15 minutes post HA Immerse. Then look at week 4. Look where you're starting out. Look at the natural moisture that's already in your skin versus then adding the HA Immerse 15 minutes later. And then finally at 8 weeks, and that's 15 minutes post-cleansing, look at the level of moisture that you naturally have in your skin. That's without the product even. And then you add the product and it's even a little bit more hydrated. And this is a product that won't be greasy. It's not gonna be the type of product when you put your makeup on. If you ever put a moisturizer on and then your makeup pills up, it rolls off, or it cakes up in certain areas or in little lines that we may have. This will keep that from happening because it's just natural moisture. It's not greasy on top of your skin. So the final S in GRASS is your SPF, and that is the #1 anti-aging product there is, or treatment, anything. If you do nothing else, you need to be doing SPFs. But there's so many different SPFs out there that people don't know. And most of the time when you look at the sun protection factor, so if it's an SPF 30 versus like a 70, all of that is based on a shot glass full of the product. And none of us can put a shot glass full of SPF on our face. So it's going to reduce a little bit. They're physical blocks, which are my preference, because what they do is they actually sit on your skin and they reflect the UV rays off your skin. They are non-chemical. It's basically titanium dioxide and zinc oxide, and there are many now. You know, we used to think of like zinc being the white stuff all the lifeguards wore. You know, they all walked around with white noses, but now they even make clear ones, so they don't create that white or chalky look on your face. Some of them come with a tint, and you can actually use them as your foundation. They're safer for the skin. Many now of the medical grade ones are combined with peptides and antioxidants. So not only are you getting your SPF, you're getting a skin treatment as well, and they're less reactive. Then you have your chemical sunblocks, and the way they work is they absorb the UV light, and then they release it, they convert it to heat, and it's released from the skin. And so the most common ones are oxybenzone, octinoxate, and avobenzone, but they can cause a lot of irritation. They can work almost like a free radical on your skin, and they are chemicals that are absorbed into your skin. And so I don't think we really know how much damage they can actually do while they're trying to protect. So I prefer, again, physical blocks if you're looking at them. And so now I want to go into talking about some of the newer things that are just out, or some of the things that are out coming, that are on the horizon. It's amazing. Right now is a great time to be in skincare and medical aesthetics, because there's so many things we're learning and so many things that we're doing. I always say if I could have had some of this stuff in my 20s, I would look a whole lot better. So one of the newest treatments, and we have this, is exosomes. And exosomes, you're gonna start hearing a lot of buzz about exosomes. They're little vehicles that are released by the cells, including stem cells, and they're little messengers that carry the information from cell to help the healthy cell replicate. So when it goes in, it's like going from one cell to the other, making it replicate healthy things, not unhealthy things. And so healing time is increased with them. It's great in wound care. I keep it at home. I get a cut, I put it on, and my cut's gone in 2 days. Collagen production, it's great for hair growth. We're seeing a lot of this, even, you know, without a treatment. People don't have to have a hair transplant. If you have living follicles in that area, even if your hair is thinning, you can, it will thicken your hair. It makes your hair healthier. And about 68% of people will notice an anti-graying effect with it as well. So it's really nice. Regenerative medicine is the big area that we're looking at now. And so this is part of regenerative medicine. So this kind of shows with exosomes. These are two pictures. One, you can see before exosome usage. You see the texture, the redness, and then you can see after the usage of exosomes how much decrease in the fine lines and textural issues that you get, and much healthier skin. Then, as I said, we also use it for hair, and you can see it's amazing for hair. I've been using it because after COVID, I literally, right here, I thought I'm like getting male pattern baldness, and I've got all this baby hair coming in, and I've been on it for 2 months. It does work. Exosomes, because of the way they're derived from, they don't have live human particles in them, but they are derived from platelets, bone marrow, some ones derived from umbilical cord gel, what we call Wharton's jelly. So they come from, and some from fat cells. But the platelet derived, which is what this is probably the most effective, and they synthesize it from that. But there's not live human product in it. So this talks a little bit more. We have another one that's come out, and this is new. Now this one has had, it's been around for about 15 years, has 4 FDA approvals and other usage, but just is starting to hit the market for skincare, and it is amazing. Some of y'all may have heard of PRP or PRF, where we draw your blood and we spin it in a special centrifuge, and we get your own growth factors and inject them or microneedle them back in. This is 300,000 times more potent than your own growth factors. And so that's one thing that's really, really nice about it. It actually is a very prolific protein for skin rejuvenation. It promotes healing. We use it, this isn't an at-home product, but this would be one of those in the office where we're planting the seeds. We use this post-laser treatment, post-microneedling, and a lot of the things we do for healing, and people heal so much quicker in 24 hours, and I'll show you a picture. You'll see what would take somebody a week. They'll look like they would at a week at 24 hours. Again, 300,000 times more potent than PRF. It is very predictable because when we draw blood on somebody, all of us, and as we age, we have less growth factors in our blood. So we're not dependent on that donor person to how many platelets they have. And so we use this, and it's consistent across the board. And it has a proven track record. Like I said, it's been used in orthopedics, dentistry, wound healing. They use it a lot for people who have, stasis ulcers and things like that on their legs. So used a lot for wound healing. And there's a 15-year history. It is in studies to be used as an injectable as well. I have a friend who used it on her son who was getting balding at the front, and she did a treatment like we do called Tixel, which doesn't even break the skin, but it makes little channels just through heat, and his hair growth was amazing from this. I mean, amazing. So this is a really promising product that's out there on the market now, and you'll hear more about it, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, we may be the only people in this area that are using it right now. But these are two of our patients, and you can see one immediately post-treatment, and then 24 hours later, the decrease in the redness, the healing, her skin's already looking better. And I don't know if you can appreciate on this one, on this screen, because it's kind of blurry, but this is one after a Tixel treatment like with the, I can yell, trust me. If you can't hear me, let me know. But you can see the decrease in her fine lines. You can see how her skin is just more radiant. It's a little thicker, tighter. You see less jowling, so everything looks a little bit healthier. And then polynucleotides are a really big thing. They're being used and injected in Europe right now. We have that lovely thing called the FDA here in the United States, so it takes, we're always 5 to 10 years behind where other countries are, but these things are like the fountain of youth. They're amazing what they do to skin, and they stimulate that regenerative, like we talked about, that regenerative mechanism, so you get more collagen, you get more elastin. They're approved, we can use them topically in the United States, but we can't inject them. So you're gonna start hearing more and more about polynucleotides. The efficacy of them is much, much greater if we can inject them, but they do make a difference topically as well. And little tiny fact, they come from salmon sperm. So we always laugh that the FDA is out there policing all of us over salmon sperm, and there's a lot worse things going on in the world than that, but anyhow. So then I wanted to speak to you all about some of the regenerative injectables that we do. Everybody knows about hyaluronic acids that we inject, the Juvederms, the Restylans, the things that automatically plump skin. There are some biostimulators out there that have been around for a long, long time. I've been using Sculptra since 2006, and we inject it, and it actually stimulates your body's own production of collagen. So it's not going to give you that plump look, but it's actually approved for volume. It's going to do a natural volume. They also just recently received approval for skin quality as well. So it improves the skin quality. We call it the Sculptra Glow. Your skin just glows. It thickens that dermis, and if you're going to have other treatments, like you may need hyaluronic acid, when the skin's thicker, it allows us to get a better result with the hyaluronic acid and use less of it. And so these are some examples of Sculptra treatments that I have done, or one is a friend of mine did. But you can see the difference even in the neck. We can inject it in there as well. We also do body areas. You can do cellulite. It helps with crepey skin in the arms, the knees, the thighs, abdomen. We can do Brazilian butt lifts with it if you want a big off. But anyways, it works amazing.
And it's a treatment?
It is an injectable treatment that we do, and generally you do a series of treatments. You won't see your full result for 6 months. So I always tell people when they come in, because we're putting a lot of water in as well, because that's what it's reconstituted with sterile water, they look great when they leave, and the next morning they wake up and all that water is absorbed, and it's like, where did it all go? So that's, you get a little sneak peek of what we're looking at the end. It's going to be even better, but the results are amazing. We have some books about it at our booth if you'd like to stop by and we can talk to you about Sculptra. But I love Sculptra. One of my dearest friends, he's a world-renowned plastic surgeon out of Beverly Hills, when asked, he and I taught a class together, and they asked him, who's a candidate for Sculptra? And he said, if you're breathing and you have skin. So he's like, at birth, we ought to start injecting people with Sculptra. So one of the last things I want to speak to is, and this I think buyer beware. A lot of people, we see it. There's a lot of product diversion and a lot of counterfeit product out there. I can go this afternoon and order any kind of box, any kind of bottle I want from Alibaba and get 1,000 of them, and I can fill it with whatever, put it on eBay, put it on my Amazon store, whatever, and sell it as that product. And so there's been a lot of analysis done on some of these products. When people are buying these products for less than what we pay for them, I promise you, and on my heart, these are not real, authentic products. So if it looks too good to be true, it is. When you buy them from places online, we don't know what you're using, and if you have reactions or anything, we can't help you because I have no idea. Several years ago, the police they ordered a bunch of counterfeit products, and these could even be on some of your big, like Walmart RX and Skin Store and all of those, because they can't police all these third-party marketers, and none of these companies sell to those people, and they don't sell to a Walmart RX or anything, so you always have to question, but they actually analyzed these products, and they found traces of arsenic, mercury, lead, and even rat feces in them. And so I did see a thing last week, a new big thing. I guess Kim Kardashian was talking about the poop facial, and so maybe rat feces is good, I don't know, but yeah, or people are actually rubbing their poop on their face. I'll be old before I do that. So really, you need to purchase your products from an authorized distributor. And so that means going to an office and purchasing it. Now, some offices, we have an online store, but you're still getting it directly from us, so you can have it shipped to your house. But really be careful with your Amazons and all of those, because anybody can all of us can go home and open an Amazon store tonight, and who knows what you're getting. And this is pretty much it. If you have any questions, you can come by our booth. We're all the way down here on the end. We're Vitality Anti-Aging Center, and we've been in business since 2006. We also, as I said earlier, we look at your body as a whole because of that free radical and antioxidation. You have to be healthy inside to look good on the outside. So we can talk about everything. We do diet, we do hormones, and not just hormones like your estrogen, testosterone, looking at thyroid, looking at all your precursors to your hormones that you normally make. And so please come by and give us a try. And that's it. Any questions for me about any of this? Or about skincare that you're using, if it's good, there's tons of it out there. All righty. Oh, yeah. Sure.
I really liked the idea when you mentioned about the products that you really liked, and obviously, I'm also the one that know more about those.
Right.
Is there a place where that is written down, on a different form?
Sure, you can come by our booth, and we have some of them in the booth, and we have them on discount this weekend, and we can write them down, and I can go further into explaining, or one of our estheticians that are here. You have all of our providers that are in the booth today who can help you if you have questions about your skincare. We also have the camera down there to do a skin analysis on you that's going to show you your pores, your fine lines, your sun damage, even at the level where you can't see it. What sun damage is below the skin that's going to show up, because as we get older, we get more and more dark spots on our skin. And that's damage sometimes that we did. They said most of our sun damage happened before we were 5. And I think back when I was a kid, my mom threw us out, and we didn't know what sunscreen was. You get sunburned, and she treated it by pouring rubbing alcohol on us. Nowadays, it'd probably be child abuse. But anyway, so yes, we can go through all of these things with you. As we always say with Vitality, a good thing about us is we offer a lot. A bad thing about us is we offer a lot, and it's hard to get the word out there of everything we do, but we really are a one-stop shop for your health and wellness. So, alrighty, thank y'all.